Welcome back to you, and a big welcome back to Roseanne. The show took 20 years off before coming back to television in prime time, and it killed in the ratings. It got like 18 million viewers its first night, and then they do this tracking where they say like who watched it on demand over the next 5 days, and it broke the 20 million mark. These are the kinds of numbers that no one has seen really in a while, with a few exceptions, since really back in the days when there wasn't that much to watch on cable. What are people saying? Why is she still have a job after this tweet? Where someone pointed out she at one point did a photo shoot where she is wearing a Hitler outfit. Kathy Griffin, according to Top Rope Travis, was fired for posting a fake picture of Trump missing his head. Why is Roseanne not being fired for posting a picture of gingerbread Jews going in an oven while she was dressed as Hitler? ABC, we're glad to watch the competition until you do the right thing. The defense is this. I know that Roseanne, this is from the showrunner of the show, I know that Roseanne is a very staunch supporter of Israel. And she has said as much. I imagine there's probably some amount of parody involved in all that. I don't know the context of that, so I wouldn't make a comment on it. My feeling is that people should just watch the show and judge it on its merits. Watch the show without the accompanying background noise. There's more statement, but we'll get to your thoughts, 5 words or less.
It's not all roses. Sure, it's no big deal.
Roseanne barred from my TV.
What a giant Hitler. You know what I mean?
Right.
Roseanne.
Yep.
Why wasn't that funny? I thought that was good. Is it because Hitler or Jewish? You're supposed to...
I was trying to hold it in.
Brett, you said that it opened with her ratings were just juggernaut ratings, right? And I always say that nostalgia is this emotion that will get people to do the craziest things. I thought Roseanne, I haven't been really excited about these reboots, and the reboots are from Canada now. These reboots since Fuller House came back, they just keep coming and coming, Will and Grace. But you know, the thing about Roseanne that makes me mad too is how, well, the whole Trump thing. And I understand why people are trying to make a parallel between Roseanne and the Connors on the show and then what's going on in real life. You know, how that more than half of the electorate are working class white people in middle America that voted for Trump, and why she's such a huge Trump supporter. I think she should be held accountable for this, because I want to be so honest with you guys. Kathy Griffin's picture with Trump's head was not that offensive to me when it came out, and a lot of people were saying, oh, it's in poor taste. Sure, it's in poor taste, but I think this, which is clearly, she's wearing a Nazi outfit with the swastika with gingerbread Jews going into an oven.
I didn't notice they were gingerbread Jews until that moment. I was like, that is really, really bad.
Yeah, so.
It's really bad.
And Disney, who is the parent company of ABC, who is always wants to keep their nose clean, should really, really dive into this and handle this, because that looks very bad. Even though that picture was many, many years ago. You know, 2009, I think that picture was.
She went through some really weird stuff. She had the big show. She did the national anthem performance where she butchered the national anthem. The show itself took a huge hit, and she disappeared because of that. That was back in the day when like one thing could end it. She popped up on Twitter. She ran for president, started running a pistachio farm.
Yeah, macadamia nuts.
Why was a judge on Last Comic Standing for a minute?
Okay.
Why do certain people like get this, they get too, we have to just don't worry about it. Like we have to pretend that some of the things that she has said on Twitter, some of the things she said in interviews, some of the things she said publicly, that we have to pretend that those are just, it's an opinion, or that's just her politics, when really it's like some of the things she say, we know that they trickle down and it's toxic and dangerous to certain marginalized communities. And then we get to see her not have to answer to any of that and just get kind of trotted around on all these morning talk shows. And we get to talk about, you know, this new TV show coming up, but then like Bill Cosby, there will never be a Cosby reboot. I grew up on the Cosby Show, but we've all agreed that, hey,
he messed up.
This is not okay.
As we should.
All those great people, as we should, all those great people on that TV show, we can't even watch the rerun.
I know, that sucks for them.
Because we've agreed that this is bad, that we should not support him, that we should not just turn a blind eye to the actor and think about what he's doing. But certain people, it takes me back to Sean Spicer being trotted out just a month after lying repeatedly in the racial undertones to how he treated April Ryan every single day on national television. Just got trotted out in front of all these celebrities at the Emmys to roaring applause.
Yeah.
It's like there are certain people that we give them a pass. They are allowed, and it normalizes awful behavior, and that is why we're in the position that we are in today.
But the answer is so frustrating. The answer is as clear to me as anything. It's like 20 million viewers. I don't get that.
Yeah.
And that's just, there's a certain amount of success that makes it so people are willing to overlook what's right and wrong.
Well, and also we're talking about a major behemoth network here that they realize that they have a ratings juggernaut. People are tuning into this show, and that's a lot of money. That's a lot of advertising dollars. And so when they're trotting her out on these talk shows, they're not going to be talking about this photo shoot. You know, they're going to be talking about exactly what the talking points that the publilists have decided ahead of time, because they know all the money that Roseanne could be bringing in.
I don't think that's true.
I think no,
right.
not on my show. At what point does and I don't know, because I've never had my own talk show, but I don't know, like, does Wendy Williams have the ability to say, you know what, no?
Yeah, she does actually.
I don't know, Amir tells me what to do.
Right, no, because you can, look, when you become, Oprah has said it many times, who was Karen Kiki Shirt or a gospel singer was not going to appear on a show because she had racist or was homophobic.
Oh, that's right. It was Ellen.
Exactly.
She said no, and
you can when you get
certain
big
people
enough.
don't matter. It depends on what bad thing.
The difference is the level of the show. If you're Ellen, you have the viewers, you have the sponsors, you can do whatever you want. But people like the Today Show, there's very easily identifiable analogs on other networks that need the story more than they, can say yes or no. I mean, they would get more viewers if I always remember Matt Lauer getting people on the show to ask them questions, and then the transition is, now, I have to ask you this.
Right.
What's with the photos? And then being able to ask it, they already check the box. They don't need to push the person very hard. That's it. They say goodbye and someone gets PR. I'm curious to see what legs this has, because it's not like she raped a bunch of unconscious women. She took a photograph of it, but then again, we Jews own Hollywood, so who knows?
But that's not the only thing she's done.
Right.
The only thing she said. It's not just this photo shoot.
Yeah.
And historically, she has had a very, very close, if you will, relationship with Trump. I mean, after Trump called her recently,
Did you
they
see
had
the show? Have you watched the show?
I'm not watching the show.
Me neither.
I've watched it. It's good. It's funny.
But it was great before, though. It was great 20 years ago.
I still haven't watched The Birth of Our Nation. I think that it's just.
Right, but that has very specific racial overtones. This does a good job, as it used to for years, but make the decision for yourself, of course, of getting right up to the line of the thing that's very difficult to talk about, and then telling the right joke to diffuse it.
The reason why people like Roseanne, though, too, as I said before, is that she portrays what a lot of the heartland of America is working class, white, and very normal. And so people can connect with that. We watch shows we connect with more times than not. Yeah. Also, thank God for social media, right? So we're always bagging on and saying, oh, social media this, but there are times where we have the power to let our voice be heard. The same way this guy did with that picture. But I do agree with you, Brooke. When do we stop normalizing it and saying, no, you need to be held accountable in the same way that we held Bill Cosby? Because that's a great point. You cannot watch the Cosby reruns anywhere without now knowing, wow, this guy was a monster.
At this rate, she will be president next. No, and that wasn't even a joke, because this is exactly how we got where we are today.
Yeah, we'll see what the result is. We leave you with one quick image. I was very serious. This is about a criminal thing, but let's take a look. We leave you with this. If you have seen this robber out there and about, this has nothing, just this person robbed. This is the Warwickshire Police Department. Just if you want to do a mitzvah, just go and find this robber. This is an actual suspect for burglary in England. You might not live in England.
He's pleased with it. He has no shame. Look at that face.
Let's wipe that smile off.
That smile's amazing.
On behalf of everybody here at Pop Trigger, do the right thing and find this person and bring them to justice. And we'll see you all next time. Have a pleasant day.